Hello, my name is Raymond Karczewski. I am a living Christ. The subject I should like to share with you today is Raymond Karczewski, a living Christ, strikes fear in the Satanic New World Order. I, Raymond Ronald Karczewski, this living Christ, has been on a mission in these last 20 years. I have been writing on the internet to awaken people, slumbering people, from their satanically induced hypnosis, the hypnotic trance of slaves to their own government and religion servants, people who are put into office and who are sustained by taxes and tithing to carry out the wishes, the policy of you, the living, breathing, flesh and blood, man and woman, the sovereign. You see, you hold all the cards and you are completely unaware of it. And you have been made to doubt yourselves and thus fall into the self-doubting, groveling position of a slave in service to some imaginary master. It is time to wake up. Yes, I am speaking to each of you who live in a fantasy world based in suggestibility, hypnotic suggestibility. You believe that hypnosis, that realm of illusory life to be real, to be normal. You are wrong, completely off the track. You have completely sold your divine awareness of truth, and you have instead worshipped the idea of truth that has been conditioned into you by the very people that you have put into office and whom you sustain. By your behavior, you have shown that you have disdain for truth, while you are quick to embrace the most cockamamie theories which come along the pike. You are confused, and you have difficulty in shaking loose of that confusion. Why are you confused? Basically, it's because you fear to wake up and have to admit that you have been conned all your lives by the placement of your trust into liars, deceivers, pied pipers who lead you down the garden path, connivers who twist and turn for profit. These are the people who promise you security, but instead deliver to you war, destruction, poverty, and slavery. You see, it cannot happen without your consent and your support. Yes, with the wealth which you gain through your own sweat of the brow, you support through taxes and tithing the very institutions who have entrapped you into living your lives in a hellish world. Does this offend you? Did I burst your bubble? Did I hurt your feelings? Did you have a burst of revelation of just how ignorant a path you have followed all your lives? And can you not all get angry and just call me a kook and just back away and go back to sleep? For that's what you are doing. You're sleeping your lives away until the day that your life is extinguished by war, by the harm that you wish and set into motion and then deny it to yourself because you cannot live with the guilt. Do you think that the message of this Christ is just one more fantasy that you can believe in or not believe in, while you pridefully delude yourself that you are in charge of your own lives? Really, you know that not to be the truth. Oh, you would like to portray yourself as being in charge, being competent, but deeply, within the very depths of your being, you know that that is not true. Well, this Christ, this simple man of truth, is here to tell you that it's time to wake up to the fact that you are all living under the thrall of satanic mind control, which is being delivered to you by your government, your religions, and your media. Have you noticed that this Christ has been attacked, libeled, ridiculed, and made to appear to be the village idiot by disinformation agents throughout the internet who stalk the writing of this Christ to discredit him, to tear down the simple solution to the problems which face our world and keep you in a confused and fearful state. They, the government, and their courts, have tried to put this Christ away for 35 to 40 years, just to shut him up. They have failed. They found that they bit off more than they could chew when they swept up this Christ in the law enforcement net that is designed to control the average man. And they soon found out that all their illusions of power fell short when it was directed toward this man who knew who he was and who could not be threatened, could not be intimidated or incarcerated for long. They huffed and they puffed, but they only managed to blow down their own baseless fantasy structure of power, satanic power, as the man they selected was a living Christ, a simple man of truth. Truth is the one thing that is immune from satanic illusions, and that had been demonstrated quite openly by the experiences of this living Christ. It's standing up and showing the illusions of power that enslave most of you. The government, the media, sicked their dogs of disinformation upon this Christ, only to have their dogs retreat repeatedly over the period of 20 years, yelping from their own rabid, self-inflicted wounds, to recover, to change their names, to regroup, and to come back and try again and fail. They used every trick in the mind control disinformation manual to destroy the credibility of the Christ. But they could not succeed. The satanic disinformation agents, who are still operating and still trying to take this Christ down, have been frustrated at every turn, until now they have reached the point where they finally have declared this living Christ, this simple, living, breathing, flesh and blood, sentient, sovereign man, to be dead. It is a mind control technique that is used by the mind controllers who bring you your news when all other techniques fail. At the very top of this message, click on the link that you'll find if you go to my site and check out this post. You will see just how powerless your government is, unless they can make you doubt yourselves. And they have become experts at that, have they not? For all the wars that you're experiencing, the damage to the economy, the homelessness, the collapse of our economy, it can all be traced to these disinformation agents who bombard you daily with lies, deceptions. And they sell you on it. They create fear in you. And in that fear, you respond in a partial way. A way that is not competent to solve the problem, to create a solution. The list of articles that you will read are disinformation attacks upon this Christ by paid mind controllers, paid by your government. You'll see how insane it has become, how fearful they are of the simple truth of this living Christ, this simple man of truth. But you see, illusion, the tactic of all Satanists, are impotent when it comes to attacking that which they cannot touch, being truth. I share this with you not to rub salt in the open, festering wounds of ignorance, which is ebbing away your very life force and destroying any possibility of a quality life, which is your true estate, but has been long given up as sovereign people. But to shock you into seeing your own state of mind, your flawed consciousness, that has been brought about by all this incessant, unrelenting mind control that has stripped you of your sovereignty, your humanity, and left you as groveling slaves at the feet of your satanic masters. Make no mistake about it. I, Raymond Karczewski, a living Christ, am alive and well, and the evidence of such a free man standing alone in a world of groveling slaves is sufficient to strike fear into the hearts of the New World Order and their subservient mind controllers. I suggest you check out the link and verify what I have just said to you. Satisfy yourself as to the veracity of this living Christ. Then see what I have done as a man standing alone, without any organizational support or individual support, aside from my loving wife, who gave her life when they killed her through the stress that they put upon her. Now, you don't have to imagine what would happen if the vast majority of you saw the truth for yourselves and stood up, unorganized, but still standing individually, in unison, and challenged the fictional satanic illusions of the courts and the government, and demanded that they prove jurisdiction over you, the living, breathing, flesh and blood, sentient, natural man or woman, who does not consent to their authority. You see, they have no power except for persons, which are fictions. And they make you doubt yourself and consent to being a person. And that is a transition from a sovereign to a slave. It's as simple as that. You will see that their power is all an illusion. And in that moment of peaceful observation, of tranquility, of no opposition, no division, peace shall return to your life. And you will have given peace a chance. I suggest that you truly become quiet within yourselves and watch the reactions which arise in you, the resentments, the anger, the frustration. You see, those are all of the illusory blocks that have been conditioned into you that has prevented you from having a peaceful life. All based in belief. It's all based in conditioning, mind control conditioning, satanic conditioning. And you willingly consent to such horrendous behavior on the parts of your leaderships. You must take back control of your lives, because that is where the power lies. It lies within your hands and applies to your own world. Stop believing in concepts that have been conditioned into you by others, for that is the step into La La Land, the step into fantasy world, the step into hell. You may look at this living Christ as a braggart, but everything that I say is true and can be documented in real-time notes, real-time articles that are based in actual experiences, based and accompanied by my own affidavit. It is time to demand that the government prove that such fictional organization which arises from the intellects of you and I, who put them into office, thereby making them a fiction, You see, a fiction is dead. It's a dead concept. Living, breathing flesh and blood, sentient natural men and women are real in a fiction. There are two worlds. There is the real world, the living world, the truth, the world of truth, and there is the world of fiction. And fiction is never greater than its creator, the living man or woman. That is the basis for law. Living men and women follow God's law, natural law. Artificial persons follow man's law, fictional law, words. Words that are designed to contradict, to oppose, to divide people in their understandings, and to create nothing but friction, anger, frustration, and harm. When you follow man's law, you are following the dictates of harm. Somebody is always to be harmed, and somebody is always to be benefiting from such harm. If you look at the world you live in, that is the case. I don't live in that world, and that is why I upset so many of you. But if you want peace in your life, if you want to understand why you're truly here and who you really are, then it's time for you to become serious. Quiet. Meditate on who you are, and soon you will become intimate with truth. For truth is non-dualistic in nature. All illusions are dualistic, are of the intellect. That is how you slip away the chains of slavery and become once again a free man. Do that and get back to me and report your success. Let us take down the satanic government. Let us vote out of office every single solitary candidate now in Congress and in the Senate, and make a clean sweep of it. That is how we stop their damage, their harm. That is how we can begin life anew. You say it can't be done. I say it can be done. They have no power over me. I have proven that. And for most of you who are under their power, you reel at the audacity of a living man who demands to be free, sovereign, but do no harm. That's what's at stake here. That is your choice. Take it or leave it. It is clearly up to you. Thank you for your time.